inside the viewfinder there.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? You
No,
got
is this thing moving?
that thing's moving. Oh, I know what's wrong. We don't have record on.
Oh, well, let's...
You got a green light?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Greg. Am I all framed up?
You're wonderful, Greg.
John says it's May 1st. There's a couple of cuties over here who are looking at us, but they're going to go on. He says it's May 1st. I thought it was April 31st. Anyway, it's Saturday, May 1st, April 31st, 1982, the day that the British bombed Port Stanley.
Port Stanley.
Yeah, my money's on the British. I hope they kick their ass. The big event today is Jerry and Barbara are having their get-together at their house. Barbara's Jerry's wife.
It's the first Southern California Reaganomics party, by the way.
First Southern California Reaganomics party.
Yeah, people are supposed to crawl in through the vulnerability window.
The window of vulnerability.
And then they land on the safety net.
Yeah. But anyway, we were just talking, that's right. And Bill Ryden is going to be there, and we haven't. I saw him recently, and he's fine. I would love to see him again. I mean, you know, I didn't get to talk to him last time I saw him. But there's reasons why I can't go. John's going to go, which we can't go into. I mean, it's. Yeah, I think it all comes back to the dog, you know.
Be honest.
The dog. It's what the dog stands for. I love both Barbara and Jerry, and I'm the godfather of their child, which I did not know. But
The pagan godfather.
the pagan godfather. But the problem, of course, is the dog. It's what the dog stands for, and everything else that goes into it. But anyway, I've come over here to John's, and he picked me up at the bus stop because the car wouldn't start, the Mustang, and things are not good.
Give a summary of your last week, Greg.
Summary of the last week was real bad. Lost my wallet, got it back, missed making $3,000 on Mattel and Bank of America in the stock market. This is a new dream. The last videotape showed Greg writing his scripts at the very end of his career in the Valverado Hotel, and this is the ending maybe of a very short career in the stock market. Although I haven't really lost any money. The frustration of coming so close to making big, huge money, you know. Do you realize that $3,000 in a day, if you could do that every day, is $1 million in a year? But no, money is not important to me. Surfing is important to me. And I'm getting better at that. My unemployment has run out. I haven't worked in 8 months. I haven't been laid in 10 months. John hasn't been laid in, I think it's, 10 hours. 10 hours.
No, it's past 12.
It's past 12.
What time is it? It's about 4.
Did you slip one in when we were watching? I mean, he's got this girls that, you know, just come up out of the floor or whatever.
That's the only place I find them.
He finds them on the floor.
Barroom floors.
But anyway, what I think we should do now is make a two-shot of the two of us with the tripod, and then we can both do our glad bag thing. And Bill Ryden was in that, and that goes way back. Okay, I got a green light.
Okay, we're recording.
Okay, and you can hear yourself?
Yeah,
Okay, you might as well take the headphones.
I think I'll take the headphones off.
Okay. And here's Greg coming into the shot here.
Greg's gonna be right here.
I'm right here. Okay, I don't know if that makes any difference with the lens. If we could see ourselves in the thing. Okay, now we're as close together as we
You
possibly
probably
can
look wonderful. You look wonderful.
All
No,
right.
do you know where we are, folks out there? We're across the street from my house. Well, actually, Randy's house, at a schoolyard. You might recognize from your childhood this green color that you probably saw every day.
When
except
you
summer.
made a mistake and you had to stand by the wall. Remember when they had the freeze bell, John? And you had to freeze? One time I didn't freeze and they caught me. I hit the tetherball when I was playing with Gary Ellis.
Gary Ellis.
And Mrs. Warren, the warden, Mrs. Warren, caught me and made Gary and I stand against the wall for a month. And of course, I was petrified.
During recess?
During recess. Just one recess, the 10-minute recess.
Oh, that's good. At least that wasn't too cruel.
Wasn't too critical. Okay, what's big right now, John? Let's tell what you are doing.
What am I doing?
You're at the Times.
I'm still at the Times. I've got a part-time job there. I work nights, Sunday through Thursday nights. I'm supposed to get there at 7. I usually get there later. I'm supposed to stay there till 11. I usually leave at 9:30. I get pissed if I have to stay past 9:30, but I still get paid for my 4 hours. Sometimes, in fact, if I think I've worked particularly hard, I put in for overtime, extra time. But that's right. But that's a minor thing in my life. The main pleasure right now, not women, is working on the school paper. Working on the school paper. I love it when I finally feel like I've stumbled onto something I can do and do fairly well. So, Greg's still stumbling.
I'm still. Keep that up there so we hear everything. No, I think that's okay. And so wait, John just told about his work. He's also in school, right? You have a couple classes or one?
I have 8 units now. I started off with 15 or 17 or something. But do you know what happened? There's a guy there, Bob Wells, who.
Not the Bob Wells.
No. I wish it were. This guy, he used to be press secretary to Governor Pat Brown.
Oh, okay.
And he's kind of crumbled into academia since then.
Mm-hmm.
He was teaching our reporting public affairs class, which is by far the worst class I've ever had in college. It's unbelievable. I couldn't stand it, but it was required for journalism to graduate. Then a rumor hit campus that Bob Wells had cancer and was about to die. So as soon as I heard that, I dropped the class because somebody else might teach it next semester, and I'd like it.
Oh.
So I'm not that I want the man to die.
The man has the heart of a stockbroker or whatever.
I just hope he retires to enjoy his last days on Earth without having to look at insolent assholes like me who scoff at every word he says. When I'm not scoffing, I'm yawning.
Well, that's John. You have to do that to beat the system. And take it from me, because I beat it at one of the toughest places.
Yeah. But then people are a lot more acquiescent when you pay them $8,000 a year than you are than $197. You know? They want your money. You've made a big investment at USC, and they should bend over for you.
They should
bend over and ...
Well, it's the same thing as like, let's say you're going after a girl who isn't that attractive. You would think that she would be easier, but then at the same time she feels that because you think that she's going to be easier, that she has to make it that much harder. So SC also has the problems of, so you think this is going to be easy because it's an expensive school. You know, it's kind of hard to flunk. Well, let me put it this way: you can flunk courses at SC very easily, but you don't have to pay
unless you play football.
Unless you play football, and the poor school has really gotten screwed this year because of some problems they've had. But you don't have to pay it again. You know, if you've paid $2,000 to take a course and you don't pass it, they'll let you take it again without making you pay $2,000.
Is that right?
I'm pretty sure. You have to register a small fee.
Right. That doesn't seem right to me.
No, that's right.
Too mercenary.
Too mercenary. No,
they are too mercenary.
That's okay at those prices, because then it's also a matter of subjectivity. Like a guy missed a test or was sick or something, and they'll still flunk him or give him an incomplete, and he shouldn't have to pay again. I don't know. I don't even want to think about that place. You know, that was supposed to catapult me into not stardom, but success. 75% of the people, 75% of the people who go to SC are successful in the fields that they endeavor. But that's if you want to be a dentist or a doctor or a lawyer or something normal.
What exactly did you do upon graduation from SC, Greg?
I think I went to work for Henry for a short time.
That's when you became Miss Jones.
Miss Jones as his secretary.
One of several sexual crises for Greg.
Several. There's only been one. You know, that's. No, I have, John. I figured out the psychological problem, or not the psychological problem, but the psychological situation of Greg. It's called the ugly duckling syndrome. Okay, The Ugly Duckling by Hans Christian Andersen was a story of this duck, or this bird that's hatched from an egg and thinks that it's ugly and that it's...
But he really is ugly.
He really is ugly, but what he is he's just different. And he goes through the whole thing and he finds out at the end that he's a beautiful swan. And every day I look in the mirror, I go, you know, Greg, the problem with you is not that there's anything wrong with you. It's just that you're different. And, you know... it's finding the discipline that's the different discipline for you to be involved in, and the different woman and the different interests.
You should also explore other dimensions, I think.
Oh, I do.
Planets, maybe.
My latest artworks have been, what would an alien creature's form look like? You know, and I come up with the basic biped, you know, 2 legs, and I think it's the most utilitarian or whatever form.
It's not the most durable, though. Imagine a cockroach with brains.
A cockroach with brains would be
Could survive anywhere.
Yeah.
Could survive anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. It would be good. It couldn't sit down, though. You know. I mean, it's great to sit and well, look and lie down.
It's true. They're pretty single postular, aren't they?
Yeah,
Posture.
well, I don't know what the correct pronunciation of that is. I'm not an expert on cockroaches anymore. I have no cockroaches in my new apartment, which is really a carport.
You do have some mold. That's right. We've got to describe
God.
Greg's new apartment.
Huh.
When I went over there, he said, "John, do you notice anything strange about this place?" And I said, "Yeah, it's a little lower than the rest of it. And you have to step up into your bathroom." He says, "Yeah." And he takes me back through what was then a relatively clean apartment. It's been McFadden since then. To I think it's the only window in the whole back of the house, or do you have one?
Yeah. There is one in the front too.
Yeah.
But it's covered, you know.
And he says, "Look out and see if you notice anything different." And right away I noticed that there was a driveway leading right up to the back of Greg's, it was concealed by bushes and things, but sure enough, a driveway right into his back bedroom wall, his back wall.
So what conclusion could you draw from that?
Carport. Greg lives in a carport. They bricked it over and rented it to Greg. And it was probably vacant for months until Greg was...
And there's a socket in the ceiling, which if you put a light bulb in it, there's no light switch for it, but it will automatically turn on by the outside timer at 6 o'clock at night and shut off at 6 o'clock in the morning, as do the other carport light bulbs. So, that in mind, John can't handle it.
Oh, I can handle it. What I can't handle is the bathroom. It's a Petri dish. Greg lives in a Petri dish.
Things growing and so forth.
It's wild, but
Probably immune to a lot of things. You have to maintain a good, healthy attitude. I figured the way I would die is just by getting to the point, like this last week I was thinking, well, I've seen it all. I've about had it. Let's wrap it up. You know, like there was nothing really happening in my life, you know, and once my unemployment ran out, that means I would have to work.
Maynard G. Krebs.
Work again, and
you don't know what a problem that is for Greg. Hold this mic for a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna describe.
Greg looks like a normal guy, good-looking guy. Okay.
Good-looking.
And he goes out to an employer.
Go out.
Makes a good impression. He's
Hey.
a well-spoken fellow.
JB.
And he's even got some nice clothes that he wears occasionally.
Yeah.
But then something happens. Greg will say something about what he's been doing, designing killer satellites, spending 8 years writing scripts, or
9 years,
or trying to make $1 million with
in one
his
day.
in one day.
In one day.
With his mother's life savings.
Yes.
That she somehow entrusted to this guy.
Tens of thousands.
To learn how to use the stock market.
To practice on.
So, but Greg has done really well.
Yeah.
I mean, he's almost made a lot of money a couple times, and he's almost lost a lot of money a couple times. But he stayed within, plus or minus of the original investment. So his mother is not going to die a pauper. She'll be able to leave $12,000 after she
Greg
dies.
is wasting his time again.
Even if the employer is not put off by that and thinks that somewhere inside there is something really salvageable, he'll say, "Goodbye, Mr. McFadden. We'll be in touch." And as he walks out, what he's going to see.
I can't help it. I mean, okay. People won't understand unless you show both shoes.
Is a custom made.
It's a custom.
Orthopedic
Don't block your face. This will be in
Now-
the picture. We're the Mackenzie brother. You hoser, take off. You know, out of Second City.
Do you see what he's done? He told me how he made these things. He spent hours grinding this bottom thing down on.
No, not on that one. That
Oh,
was
this
for the
was
surf
another
with.
one.
That one I just glued another sandal to.
Oh, this is just a simple one.
That's a simple one.
He has a scientific one where he spent
Yeah.
hours strategically grinding the sole of God knows what, some shoe he found in the street, to glue on the bottom of his $45 booties, surf booties.
Yeah, I paid 2 pairs. I paid about $55 for surf booties.
And he mutilates them.
No. I just insert it. It's just an insert.
Custom.
It's
He
a custom.
customized.
Yeah. Well, I have one leg that's longer and one that's
Oh,
shorter.
that's right.
than
We
the
should fill in that.
Yeah,
but
you know, look,
still,
other, you know.
he does. He doesn't explain that to the employers, and they see orthopedic
Well,
surf slippers.
It's the fact that I'm not wearing shoes. I'm wearing sandals. The only man who's ever been to where was the place?
Tahoe?
Mammoth. Stay close to me so you be in the picture.
Well, my buddy
He
said
thinks I've gone over the edge though too. He makes jokes about, you know. Well, Greg, you know, since you don't like women, you know, well, don't wear the thing.
No, I'm just listening.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if we're as funny as I think we are.
I don't know. Stay over this side though. Believe me, I'm hogging this side. You know. I mean, I know about cameras and how to.
He said I look like Frank Reynolds because I'm going to have a shoulder cut off.
Yeah, Frank Reynolds.
Isn't it Bob Dole that has a shoulder cut off?
I don't,
No cripple joke.
Oh, listen, last night was a classic movie, the 1930s version of H.G. Wells' classic In The Invisible Man with Claude Rains, and I
What
have
a good movie.
it's fantastic, and if you want to know what the real true personality of Greg McFadden is, you've got to see that and The Brain from Planet Arrows, because there's scenes where the guy goes, "Those fools, they have the brain of a maggot, a tapeworm. I'll show all of them. They'll cringe at my feet, they'll grovel at my feet. Invisible armies will march over the world. They'll be mine. Why, these hands around a switchman's throat? We can wreck a train. We'll kill big, important men. And little men, too, just to show that we make no distinction. Yes. And if you watch the film, you can see that inside Greg McFadden is not a thirst for money or even sex, although I'd love to have sex, but I can't stand the hassle. I really can't stand it. It just puts me off. It ruins everything. It's power. That's what Greg wants. He wants power, to make people grovel at his feet. No, but just the power to be able to move mountains and build bridges and all this. But you know something, John, I've realized, and why I'm not pursuing power anymore, I've lost the motivation for that, is because it can all be wiped out in one day. Stock market, catastrophe, cancer, you know, these things can just knock you down, nuclear holocaust or whatever. So there's no sense in making these huge goals like that take these 20-year, $300 billion space projects and everything else. Although I still think I have a good design and you could rule the world if you invested the money. But
That's a plea for funding, folks.
yeah, well, I have to do something with my mind. Here's what my mind is used for. It's for going out
Masturbatory fantasies.
Yeah, but I don't even get off on that anymore. I go out one night a week with Henry on Sunday night, Henry Greiston, the Rebop. Okay, and John won't go out with me because he has all his girlfriends. He doesn't need to go out, and he won't pick up on girls on the street.
I don't know how.
He doesn't know how. All he does is get them in class and work. If he doesn't already know them or been introduced by them,
It's a long process.
he can't go for it. Well, he knows it's a waste of time, but you can try. You can get good at it.
Greg says that Henry, who's probably going to watch this,
Oh, he's
so
great
maybe,
at it.
Maybe I don't want to tell him what.
No. Henry knows. What do you mean about the women Henry picks up?
That's right. Greg describes them as being Phyllis Dillers. They all look like Phyllis Dillers.
No.
And even if they're, God, does your butt hurt?
Well, move around. I mean, you know, mine didn't until you said that. I just don't want you to be pushed off the thing. It's going to look like I hogged the whole thing.
They all look like Phyllis Diller.
You know.
And if they don't look like Phyllis Diller, Greg says that they're going to look like Phyllis Diller.
when they're young.
They're young now, but
Young Phyllis Dillers and older Phyllis Dillers.
the sun is fading. Let's
We're okay, though.
shit.
No. Where's the sun on our faces?
It's here, I guess.
Oh, okay. Are our faces still in? Well, we'll have to sit up more. Except we'll have to
Okay.
move the camera.
Well, we could go like this.
Okay. Well, no, because the camera's not. We still got a minute or two, John, don't we?
Yeah.
Look, it's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got so much funny stuff to say.
Yeah. Where's the shadow on me? You can tell on his shirt. You can't tell on mine. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. As
Well,
long
it's
as our
at the
as long
crest
as
of
our
the sun.
Yeah. Okay. As long as our faces are in, you know. Yeah, so, but anyway, Henry's very good at this, and I go out with him one night a week, except he tries to push it, and when he does, and I run into trouble, I get depressed, because I can't go out more than once night a week. But we go out on loser night, which is Sunday night, to Bobby McGee's and Palm Springs. This is what we're doing now, making the circuit. And looking for comatose old ladies, is what he really needs, and a pair extraordinaire. Okay. And he does his pirate routine, which is shiver me timbers, love to see her chewing on my gnarly one. That one, you know, he goes through these things, but he has to be, what's the word, drunk or something.
Awake.
Oh, well, yes,
That's awake. That's all
he wants to be so blotto that he wants to be tuned on bourbon so that he can't see the wrinkles, you know. He never goes for fat
stretch
ones.
marks and the cellulite
Oh,
and the
God.
missing teeth and the
The
extra
tattoos. I like dicks written on the arm, you know. Oh,
but dicks
God.
don't like me.
But dicks don't like me. I mean, some of these are girls that I picked up, and no wonder I'm in, you know, real trouble. But what was I
I mean,
going to
what kind of women are you attracted to anyway?
I'm not attracted to the debutante Farrah Fawcett types anymore. Not that I ever really was, because I knew they were always out of reach. But now I'm repulsed by them because they're so impossible. And now I go for the ones that are just real plain, you know, and still it's trouble. And here's what happens. You go out, since John doesn't go to singles bars, and that's the only thing that's left.
I've been, but I'm a failure.
Well,
I come home feeling
everybody's
like you do, Greg.
Okay, right. Well, it's not so much that. It's breathing all the smoke and then talking to them about Coke and how that's so cool and real estate and a bunch of garbage. And if you're not a Disco Danny, you know, it's, have you heard Sex Dwarf? Luring disco dollies to a life of vice. Oh, my God.
No.
Oh, yeah, that's a song. But
I have heard a good one. I Might Like You Better If We Slept Together. Some girls sing that song. That's a great song.
yeah, the waitresses or somebody, or Novo Combo or somebody does that.
Another good one is Johnny, Are You Queer?
Johnny, Are You Queer?
That's a laugh
Yeah,
riot.
I love that.
Real funny.
Oh, boy.
Real funny.
Have we got shadow on us yet? I don't think so. As long as it isn't...
There's a
crossing
shadow
out.
here. But,
As long as it doesn't hit your... I can still see the sun. I'm sure I'm getting it on here.
yeah, what is that shadow from?
But
Oh.
anyway, that it's once in a while I figured out, John. I made a list. This was years ago. Yeah, we can set up just a little bit, but not too much because our heads will go out. Of all the girls that I had.
Is it going?